Good evening and welcome to the February 29th, 2024 edition of the Plastow Zoning Board of Adjustment. This is the meeting we hold once every 4 years at best. Dee, would you please read the call the roll?
Peter Belo,
I'm here.
Jim Unger,
Here.
Jonathan Gifford is excused, Michael Murray,
Here.
Jim O'Brien.
Here.
You have 4 voting members this evening.
Awesome. Would you be so kind as to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. So before we carry on with the meeting, let me kind of go through the meeting procedure and such. So each public hearing will be opened in turn. The applicant will present their case, the board will question, and then the hearing will be open to the public for comment. Once everyone who wishes to be heard has been heard, that public hearing will be closed. Once a public hearing has been closed, we can't take any additional input. The board will immediately deliberate on that application before opening another public hearing on any additional applications. There could be times where applications are so interrelated, the chair may decide to hear them simultaneously, but each will be deliberated separately. All motions regarding relief will be made in the affirmative, to grant form, for clarity and consistency. The format of the motion should not be considered indicative of how any member, including the maker of the motion or the second of the motion, might vote. Written notices of decision will be sent to the applicant and made available for public viewing within 5 business days. Per the New Hampshire RSA's state laws, if any party of standing feels the board has erred in its decision, they have 30 days to request a rehearing. No permits will be issued within that 30-day period. The board reserves the right to continue their deliberations on any matter if we feel we need to consult with legal counsel. All decisions will be made in accordance with the New Hampshire RSA's. Now, tonight we have 4 members. Nominally, this is a 5-member board by state RSA. The New Hampshire RSA's require that any motion for relief can only be granted by a favorable vote of at least 3 members of the board, as opposed to a simple majority of members present at any meeting. Therefore, when there's less than a full board of 5 voting members present, the applicant's chances of approval could be considered diminished. When there are less than 5 voting members present, as there are tonight, the applicant has the right to continue their application to the next available meeting in hopes that there will be 5 voting members available to hear their application. If any applicant decides to proceed with less than a 5-member board, they do so at their own peril. If an applicant moves forward and does not prevail in their request for relief, the lack of a 5-member board will not be considered as grounds to request a rehearing. So, in other words, we have to vote 3-1 or 4-0 in order for something to pass. And many people take their chances. Some people don't. It's all up to you. We don't look askance at either way. Okay. Why don't we go right to the first case, and we'll do the minutes at the end.
Okay. I knew you were going to do that just because I made this form up,
I'm sorry, what?
I said I knew you would do that because I made this form up that way.
Okay.
Case number 24-01, a request from Anthony F. Pasillo III for a special exception under Article 10 to permit a home occupation, namely an office for a leasing company. The property is located at 4 Ashley Nicole Drive, Tax Map 9, Lot 8 in the LDR zoning district. The property owner of record is A.N. Pasillo Trust, Anthony Pasillo trustee. Mr. Pasillo, if you'd like to come sit up at the table up here.
And please try to speak into the microphone. They are not the most sensitive mics in the world. And you are
I'm Anthony Pasillo.
of for Ashley.
For Ashley Nicole, yes.
Okay, and you're okay with a 4-member board?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Why don't you tell us why we're here tonight with you?
I just moved up here October 2nd,
Welcome.
and me and my kids moved up here, and we're the people New Hampshire wants. We moved out of Mass, so don't worry, we're the good ones, okay? But I have a company in Massachusetts that's staying down there. It's a construction company, and I have a leasing company, which basically, buys the vehicles, the equipment, and they all stay on the sites or down there in Mass. But I have a few of them that since I live up here, we have, have a company vehicle, so I need to register it. In order to register up here, I need to have a base, which would be my home office on Ashley Nicole.
Okay. And so you wouldn't have employees coming here?
My only,
at least
no employees at all.
no, 18-wheelers delivering materials and.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, well, let me go through the whole set of conditions. We have kind of a standard set
Absolutely.
written. Did he share those with you before?
I went through them, yes.
Okay, because some of them are like, most people look at them and go, what? So is the business use, okay, yeah, I'm going to go through the conditions first. Is the business use injurious, noxious?
Mr. Chair, you're missing one at the very top.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, I was going to, okay, I'll start at the top. I was actually going to jump up there. Will the business be of secondary use to the residential use?
No, not at all. I don't really
It will be
understand.
secondary to the residential
Well,
use.
yeah, just the office. Yes, we know we won't be running a business outside of the house. Is that what
Yeah.
you're asking?
And the category that the permitted use seems to fit into is attorney, architect, consultant, real estate agent, insurance agent, et cetera, which is A. Conditions is the business use injurious, noxious, or offensive to the neighborhood by reason of emission of odor, fumes, dust, smoke, vibration, or noise.
Absolutely not.
This is a one-family dwelling?
Yes,
Okay. You are the owner. I saw that.
I'm the owner. Yes.
Is the business use being conducted within the residential building, and does it exceed 25% of the normal living area? I looked earlier, and it's far less than that.
Yes, it's a small office.
I did the calculations on just the first floor alone and came up with less than 15%.
There you go. Okay. Will the business use change the residential character of the dwelling or the property?
No,
No big lit signs outside?
no,
Okay.
not at all.
You couldn't do a lit sign anyhow. Will the applicant have a sign? No. Signs shall not be illuminated either internally or externally and can't exceed 3 square feet, and a permit must be obtained.
No signs whatsoever.
Will there be more than one person who doesn't live in the home employed on premises?
No,
Perfect. Does the applicant intend to display merchandise outside?
no.
Okay. Is there sufficient off-street parking for employees and customers?
There'll be no employees or customers.
Okay. Does the applicant expect business-related deliveries?
No,
Okay. And you said you'd have one business vehicle there?
I have one, and my 2 kids live with me, so each of us have a vehicle, and we have personal vehicles as well.
Okay. So you'd be restricted to no more than 2 commercial and however many personal vehicles you want.
Right.
Okay. Will there be any flammable, noxious, or dangerous materials stored in the vehicle?
Other than the fuel in the tank, no.
And I didn't see any covenants in your deed when I looked at it earlier. It'll prevent a home occupation, so that's good. So it's not a condo unit. Are there any other home occupations at the same address?
No.
Okay. And we have a floor plan. So that's,
All three. We had the floor plan, the copy of the deed, and the list of abutters.
yes. So anybody have any questions?
Really, it's not.
I mean,
It's very straightforward.
None.
I think you took a wise chance.
I have faith in New Hampshire.
You haven't lived here long. Okay, is there anybody out there speaking in favor of this? Is anybody speaking against this? Dee, do you have any emails?
I have no emails or letters of any kind. Are you just double checking to make sure you're going to go over the list of exceptions and the end of the list as well?
She's killing me.
And it's been a while. I'm just trying to make sure you're dotting all the i's and crossing all the t's for us.
Yeah. So if the special exception is granted, the following shall apply. The code enforcement officer may choose to inspect the business location prior to the issuance of the home occupation certificate. The home occupation is subject to periodic inspection by the code enforcement officer. If, in the opinion of the code enforcement officer, the business practices have changed, the home occupation permit could be revoked. If the ZBA feels it is warranted, the applicant may be required to file with the planning board for site plan approval. And I'm not sensing that we think that. All home occupations may be renewed, every 3 years, provided they are not, there are no violations of the provisions of Article 10. The applicant will not be notified for renewal. It's their responsibility to track their expiration date and apply for renewal prior to that date.
Understood.
Okay. Nothing else, guys?
No.
Any final statements or anything, or?
Not at all.
Okay. I'm not trying to prolong it. I just want to make sure everybody's comfy and,
I prolong it all you want. I got to go take my daughters out for their birthday, so the longer it stay
Happy
here,
birthday.
I'm safer.
I hope you found a good place.
I did.
Sounds like you found a real good place. Okay.
He's
I think,
dressed for a snappy, real good place.
pardon me?
He's dressed for a snappy, real good place.
I kind of dress for a little respect for the board too. How's that? Some more brownie
Good
points.
for you.
I feel bad not having at least, long sleeve shirt on. Okay. In that case, we'll call this hearing adjourned, and we'll go into deliberative session now.
Excellent. Thank you.
So. So can we have a motion?
I move to grant the request from Anthony F. Pasillo III for a home occupation under Article 10, all sections to follow in office for the leasing company at 4 Ashley Nicole Drive, tax map 9, lot 8, with the following conditions. The home occupation is for an office function only. There will not be any more than 2 commercial vehicles, no greater than 1 ton capacity on the property. The home occupation must be renewed every 3 years in accordance with the Plastow zoning ordinance, Article 10.
Thank you very much. Any discussion?
Nope.
I think this fits the criteria perfectly. Space and all that is great. There's no employees around, no customers, no 18-wheelers.
Materials, no.
Yeah. Dee, I think we're ready to vote.
Yes.
Dee, would you call the roll on this?
Peter Bealow,
Yes.
Jim Unger,
Yes.
Michael Murray,
Yes.
Jim O'Brien.
Yes.
Your vote is 4-0-0 and the motion passes.
Awesome. Have a good night. Yep. Okay, let's call the next one, please.
Hold on one second. I'm catching up my notes here.
And let's do both of them together. If you folks are comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops.
Case number 24-02, a request from Amanda Poole for a variance from Article 5, Section 220-32E to permit a beauty salon in a zoning district where it is not a permitted use. The property is located at 216 Main Street, tax map 30, lot 23, in the MDR zoning district. The property owner of record is Kevin S. Joyce. Case number 24-03, a request from Amanda Poole for a variance from Article 5, Section 220-23E to permit an office use in the zoning district where it is not a permitted use. The property is located at 216 Main Street, tax map 30, lot 23, in the MDR zoning district. The property owner of record is Kevin S. Joyce.
Okay. So thanks for coming in. Read your names for the record.
Amanda Poole.
Okay, kind of figured that, but these
Yeah.
days.
Right.
You need to be right up on the microphone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so why don't you tell us exactly what you're planning? We've heard a couple different things over the years for
Yeah.
this property.
So I own my own business. I own a freight brokerage company. So
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you already.
I own a freight brokerage company. So I just sit at a desk all day and basically work through computers and book trucks for customers of mine. So right now I'm renting an office, so it would be perfect for me to have my own space, pay myself rent. And then I have a best friend who owns a hair salon already and looking to expand, and the space is already perfectly set up for that.
Okay, well, makes good sense.
Yes.
Do you guys have any questions before we go down the criteria on the first one? You know the site,
Yes, we're familiar with the site.
you know. Okay, so we're looking at to permit the beauty salon in the zoning in the MDR zone. I think let's go down the variance criteria on that. So, there's 5.
Did you bring a copy of your application?
Yes.
I have one right here if you need it.
Do you need a copy?
So there's 5 criteria that the state lays out that have to be met. And if you meet all 5, then we're golden. Okay, so we're like, let's go through them. So it's not contrary to the public interest because, I guess I'm looking at you to respond.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, it doesn't change the physical nature of the building. Office space will be low impact on traffic, and it will create opportunity for small business and local business to grow.
I mean, there's a sign there and everything already, so it's not even like putting up I know you'll change the face of it, but
Right.
it's physically there.
The footprint would be the same. Yeah.
The spirit and intent of the ordinance is preserved. Number 2.
Are we
The
doing the office space or the beauty salon first? Because I think you're reading from the office space one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know which one are you doing. Sorry.
I think we read the beauty salon first.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Could be.
I just want to make sure that because I'm following along here. so-
Okay, so I'll start over on the first one. It complements the surrounding area and businesses, does not compete. This is the beauty salon.
Okay. Okay, and the spirit and intent is preserved because,
Exterior of the building doesn't change, only slight modification to the amount of traffic and number of visitors.
okay, there's substantial justice in granting the variance.
There's no loss to the individual. Allowing the business will add value to immediate neighborhoods.
True that. Values of surrounding properties won't be diminished.
Because it supports the community with necessary and valued business building. The building is currently vacant.
Right. Literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship because,
No significant impact will be generated by approval to change use. And it's a low community impact as the proposed use.
if anything, I'd say just by the mere fact somebody will be keeping the building up
Right,
is a positive.
right.
So, would be my observation. Jim, Michael?
Now, I'm familiar with the building, at least I was when it was still a shoe store, and familiar with the insides of it and the exterior. And I mean, the use, fits to the building. I mean, it fits into the neighborhood. It doesn't detract from anything that I'm aware of.
Yeah. And so this would be a beauty salon on the first floor, office on the second floor. I think not more than 100 yards away from them, there's a barber shop, which I know by state law is different, but I have a hard time wrapping my arms around that. There's very similar kind of uses. Dee, do you have any emails or letters on this?
No, I do not.
Is there anybody out in the audience speaking in favor or against this? There you go. So you're the friend who'll have half of it? Okay.
Can I just get your name, because I'll put it in the record? Yeah, Jill Churchill. Could I have a spelling on the last name, please? Thank you. And you're from where? Thank you. You spoke, you get in the record.
You approve it.
Okay,
I know.
unless you have something else to say about that variance request.
I don't know.
Okay, fine, then I'm gonna close this, we'll go to the second one,
Okay.
and then we'll deliberate both. And
Okay.
Okay. So the second one is to permit an office use in a zoning district where it is not a permitted use. Property is located at 216 Main Street, tax map 30, lot 23 in the MDR. Property owner is Kevin S. Joyce. Okay. So you guys have any questions before we go into that?
No.
None.
Okay. Okay. Now, I guess I have a question.
Sure.
Roughly how big is the second story? Like, how much space is there up there?
It's exactly the same as the first.
I know.
Except for the staircase going up the side. So when you take it, it's around
1200.
just under 1,200 square feet if you take the staircase out. There's a half bath upstairs, half bath on the first level, and then it's just open throughout the rest of it with emergency exits and stairs going down the back. So it means of egress on the other side going down the back. And then the first floor has means of egress right out the side.
Okay. So if your business is as successful as we all hope it is, you would have the opportunity to actually put more than one office up there.
Right. Yeah.
Or cubicle, or however
Right.
you're going to lay it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The whole
cool.
building
Yeah.
and remodeled from electrical to plumbing, siding, windows, roof, redid the entire. Totally updated, like I said, when I first came, when I bought it 40 years ago.
Yep. So why don't we go down the variance criteria for this one?
Okay, sure.
Proposed variance isn't contrary to the public interest.
It doesn't change the physical nature of the building. Office space will be low impact on traffic. Will create opportunity for small business and local business to grow.
Spirit and intent of the ordinance is preserved.
The community and nearby residents, abutters, will experience little to no impact. Preserves what is existing today.
Okay. There's substantial justice in granting the variance.
The general public will gain space to support local business, no loss. In fact, gains are made by intended use.
The values of the surrounding properties won't be diminished.
Low noise level, low traffic, reasonable daytime business hours, no changes to external building or existing traffic flows.
Okay. And literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship.
Its proposed use won't have significant impact on the community.
Okay, we have all the abutter, and we have no comments in this as well, Dee?
No, but we did have a couple of conditions that the applicant may need to be aware of.
Yes. So, I guess, so the way these are worded now, these two variances, you have the salon on the first floor and office space up on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any, and we can deliberate those uses and rule on them as is. I guess I'd like to ask, is there any thought of broadening it a little bit to perhaps allow some salon use on the upstairs as well? I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. but it's
Right,
like
right.
we could consider, that as well.
Okay.
Are you talking about to make it a single use for both floors or to expand the business upstairs?
The way that the applications were made, the salon is limited, so to speak, to the first floor and the office to the second floor.
We're just asking if she plans on expanding her business to the second one.
To whether or not the office might be, you might expand
Either or.
office in the future. You
Yeah.
might think about if the salon leaves because they get so huge, they need a bigger spot.
Yeah.
And that maybe you make the whole building office. they would need to consider that now so
Okay.
that they could make that part of the
Right.
variance granting or not, or the vote, the
Or,
motion. on it.
or your freight business.
Right. So it could
becomes
go
so
either
successfully-
way, right? It could
Yeah.
go either way.
So-
like
Because if they approve it as it is right now, the office use only is on the second
upstairs.
floor.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I think that it could go either way. Like maybe she has an office space upstairs that goes with her salon, and then I use it too.
So maybe if we, on the first one, maybe look at a motion that, well,
Combine both floors into a mixed use.
yeah. So instead of to permit a beauty salon in the zoning district where it's not a permitted use, no, I think that actually that would still go. That one's
You would just
fine. It's the
need to
second one.
Change the conditions that are there, that's
Yeah.
all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, we just, yeah, so just the, so something like, I move to grant the request from Amanda Poole, yada, yada, for the variance, to allow a hair salon at 216 Main Street, and the applicant must make application to the planning board for site plan review within 180 days, and that's it, and not say it's limited to the first floor.
Well, you'd also want to include the one that says no permits can be
Oh,
issued
and
without
then,
completing.
and no permits can be issued without completing the planning board site approval process.
Right.
Okay, so let's just take the second one out.
And on the second one,
And like,
let's take the second.
It's not that we're trying to like be unreasonable, but it's like, we don't want to over constrain you if there's no real
Right.
need to either.
Right, right.
You know,
Yeah.
why make you apply for something else potentially down the road if we could just deal with it once?
I appreciate that.
We try to be reasonable.
Yeah.
You know? So, okay, so we're looking at something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
and the second one too would delete the limitation of the office just to
The second floor.
Okay.
Okay, keep everything else the same. Okay?
Mhm.
Okay, so I guess,
Or you could change it to say in both of them, that the hair salon use is not limited to the first floor, and make it real clear to the planning board that it's allowed throughout.
and then we take the second one and say that the office is not limited to the second floor.
Correct.
I like that better even, just to make it easier for the planning board to understand what's going on.
Okay.
Okay? You folks good with that?
Sure.
So do you have any letters or anything or emails on the second one?
I do not.
Okay, and there's nobody out there speaking against it? Do we have somebody speaking in favor of it? Oh, here you go. Okay, same as last time. Okay, well, if that's it, then I'm going to call this to a close and we'll get to deliberating.
All right.
I don't think you'll have to wait too long.
Okay.
Do I have a motion for the first variance?
So just to help you out, I have reconstructed the sentence of you can have a seat back
Okay.
there. I've reconstructed the sentence of the second condition to read, the hair salon use is not limited to the first floor. And the same would be in the second one, the office use is not limited to the second floor.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so who would like to make a motion?
I don't mind reading again.
Okay,
I move to grant the request from Amanda Poole for a variance from Article 5, Table 2-2032E, to allow a hair salon at 216 Main Street, tax map 30, lot 23, in the MDR district with the following conditions. The applicant must make application to the planning board for the site plan review within 120 days of the
I'm sorry,
date.
180.
180 days of the date of this decision. The hair salon use is not limited to the first floor. No permits can be used without completing the planning board site plan approval process.
I'm sorry, that was issued.
Issued.
My apologies.
you want my glasses?
I don't know, this is not working too well, I guess.
Do we have a second on that motion? Okay, discussion?
Well, that's reasonable for the facility.
Well, we do have to go through the variance criteria, though. So proposed variance is not contrary to the public interest. Well, yeah, it does complement the surrounding areas and businesses. It doesn't compete with local, well, the configuration is the same as they have now. It's been there forever. Spirit and intent of the ordinance is preserved. Yeah, the building exterior doesn't change, other than the sign's going to be updated, I'm sure. Very little, if traffic impact on that area.
More than the shoe store was.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it really ought to even be less than what that shoe store had.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
there's substantial justice in granting us. There's really no loss to any of any individual or to anybody around there, while adding value to the neighborhood. Values of surrounding properties won't be diminished because it does support the community with necessary businesses. And the building is currently vacant. Been that way for years now. Literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. There's really no, that building's there. It's an existing feature. And the parking lot's there. It's an existing feature. If we wanted to demand this whole thing go to a residence, they'd have to tear up a ton of asphalt. And it's not situated well to be a house. So, yeah, basically. So it seems that this meets all 5 of these criteria. We ready to take a vote on this? D?
Jim Unger,
Yes?
Michael Murray,
Yes,
Jim O'Brien,
Yes,
Peter Bealow.
Yes.
Your vote is 400, and the motion passes.
Okay, let's go do the second one here. Will somebody make a motion on the second variance request?
I move to grant the request from Amanda Poole for a variance from Article 5, Table 220-32E to allow an office use at 216 Main Street, Tax Map 30, Lot 23 in the MDR District with the following conditions. The applicant must make application to the planning board for site plan review within 180 days of the date of this decision. The office use is not limited to the first floor, or to the second floor, rather, and no permits can be issued without completing the planning board site plan approval process.
Do we have a second? Thank you, Mr. Murray. I think actually, as we go down the variance criteria, it's all very similar to the first.
Pretty much the same. There's even less impact with an office.
Yeah, there's no, the only impact to that building is some kind of partitioning potentially on the inside. And it doesn't even have to be if it's only a one-person office, although that'd be a big echoing office. But nonetheless, spirit and intent of the ordinance is preserved. There's little to no impact on that area, in that community. Substantial justice is done in granting.
Did we miss one?
I'm sorry, what?
Did we miss one? Substantial justice is third. Contrary to the public interest. I think you
Right.
skipped right to spirit and intent.
No, we did propose variance is not contrary to begin with, and I did spirit and intent, and I'm getting to substantial justice. On proposed variances contrary to public interest, it's because the physical nature of the building isn't really changed, or could be changing, and it'll create opportunities for small businesses there. Substantial justice, there's nothing to be gained to the general public in not having an office in that building. The values of surrounding properties won't be diminished. We're talking about low noise level. 18-wheelers aren't coming there for loads. She's just booking and potentially dispatching from there. So there's nothing to diminish property values. Literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship because the use doesn't have any significant impact on the community. The place is already configured that way. So, we ready to take a vote?
Yes.
Okay. D,
Michael Murray,
Yes.
Jim O'Brien,
Yes.
Peter Bealow,
yes.
Jim Unger.
Yes.
Your vote is 4-0-0, and the motion passes.
Still have to wait 30 days, but good luck, really. Okay, we have our final case tonight. D, would you read it, please?
Case number 24-04, a request from Nolan Murphy for a special exception under Article 10 of the Plastow zoning ordinances to permit a home occupation, namely an office for a construction company. The property is located at 9 La Pearl Ave, Tax Map 24, Lot 22, in the MDR zoning district. The property owners of record are Nolan J. and Lindsay G. Murphy.
Okay, well, welcome.
Hello,
And for the record, you are,
Nolan Murphy. This is my wife, Lindsay Greenlay Murphy.
and you're at 9 La Pearl.
Yes, we are.
So what's your plan?
I'm going to start a construction company out of the house, and before we were owners of a construction company in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and now that I'm going to stop that business down there and start a new one up in Plastow.
Very cool. Okay.
So not much is changing, other than that. I'd like to I like to run the business out of New Hampshire instead of Massachusetts. On a new company.
And as a whole, we in New Hampshire love people to run businesses out of here. So, okay, so you're okay with a 4-person board?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I got to go through the same home occupation checklist.
Sounds great.
Okay. So will the business be of secondary use to the residential?
Yes, it will be.
And the category of permitted use this business fits into is tradesman, repairman, contractor, and such?
Yes.
That's C. Okay. Is the business use injurious, noxious, or offensive
No.
to the neighborhood? Okay.
Somebody studied for this text. He's
Pardon me?
ready.
And this is a one-family dwelling.
Single family home.
You are the owner. I took a look at the deed. And congratulations in moving here.
Thank you.
Is the business use conducted within the residential building and doesn't exceed 25% of the normal living area?
Yes.
I see it's like 12%.
Yeah, it's
Give or
small.
take.
It's a smaller portion.
Will the business use change the residential character of the dwelling?
Absolutely no.
So you're not going to like store
No.
building materials and
Nope. Nothing. Not storing anything. Just like to park my pickup truck out there.
there you go. And you can have a sign on your pickup.
I thank you.
Will the applicant want to put a sign out?
No.
Okay. If you change your mind, you could have one up to 3 square feet, but
Oh.
that's 1 by 3 or equivalent, right?
Mhm.
And will there be more than one person who doesn't live in the home employed on premises?
No.
Does the applicant intend to display merchandise outside, like new homes out in front?
No. Nothing. Nothing being displayed. It's
Is there sufficient off-street parking for employee and customers?
no, but there won't be any employees or customers.
Do you expect any business-related deliveries?
No, we're not producing anything on site other than
I mean,
other than paperwork.
paper, Staples and
Yeah.
Amazon and all that's fine. Yeah, they're thinking more along terms of lines of 18-wheelers.
Yeah, no, I'm not building anything on site other than just like creating invoices.
And how many business vehicles would you have?
One.
Okay, and it's no more than 1 ton capacity.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
3/4 ton. Yeah, it's a mixed use vehicle, so it's my personal vehicle, and
Okay.
so get the kids in the back seat.
Will there be anything flammable other than gasoline in the truck? Will
No,
there be anything flammable, noxious, dangerous? No.
no,
And I read your deed. There's nothing. There's no covenants in there that would preclude this. It's not a condo.
no.
And there will only be one home occupation at this address?
Yes.
Okay. So, and again, I'm not quite sure planning did this, but, you know, so if you wanted to start a business, you couldn't do it there. Okay, unless you throw him out, his business out. Okay.
Keep that in mind.
You've provided the floor plan sketch, a copy of the deed, list of abutters, we're all good on there.
Yes.
If the special exception is granted, the following shall apply. The code enforcement officer may choose to inspect the business location prior to the issuance of the home occupation certificate. The home occupation certificate is subject to periodic inspection by the code enforcement officer. If, in the opinion of the code enforcement officer, the business practices have changed, the home occupation permit may be revoked.
Okay.
If the ZBA feels it is warranted, the applicant may be required to file with the planning board for site plan approval, but I'm just not sensing that from the board. All home occupations may be renewed every 3 years, provided there's no violations of the provisions of Article 10. The applicant will not be notified for renewal. It's your responsibility to track the expiration date and apply for renewal prior to that date.
Yes, sir.
It'll be on the pretty little permit card they give you too.
Thank you.
Okay. You folks have any questions, comments?
It's that's what I like to run it as, just an office.
So I think as part of our motion on this, I just want to make sure you're okay with this. We're going to write in that the home occupations for an office function only.
Yes.
There will not be any more than 2 commercial vehicles, no greater than 1
1 ton.
capacity on the property. The home occupation must be renewed every 3 years in accordance with zoning Article 10. And I don't think I'm sensing anything else. You're okay with all those things?
That sounds fair.
So,
sounds
you know,
great.
and 2 vehicles is written in there because that's what our zoning says.
Okay.
And frankly, I hope your business expands enough so you need a second vehicle. That means you're being successful. Okay, so,
Thank you.
yeah, we don't want people to fail,
Uh-oh.
you know? That's not good for anybody. Okay, would somebody, so any final comments before I close this?
No, no.
Okay,
I have no letters,
no letters?
emails, no.
Well, and there's nobody out in the audience now, so.
Oh, I try to be nice to my neighbors.
So you haven't raised the ire of your
Oh, no.
neighbors? You'd be surprised occasionally.
No. We try to be nice to everybody.
That's always good. No other comments, folks?
No.
None. I'm going to close this hearing and we'll go to deliberative.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, would somebody like to make a motion? We're in deliberation now.
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
I move to grant the request from Nolan Murphy for a home occupation under Article 10, all sections to allow an office for a construction company at 9 La Pearl Avenue, tax map 24, lot 22, with the following conditions. The home occupation is for an office function only. There will not be any more than 2 commercial vehicles, no greater than 1 ton capacity on the property. The home occupation must be renewed every 3 years in accordance with the Plastow zoning ordinance, Article 10.
thank you very much. Any discussion on this? I mean, it's,
Pretty straightforward. I give people credit to come for a permit for an office because there's probably many that don't.
well, I think the reason, and I'm not accusing the applicant of this, but I think one reason some people do that is because when they go to register a commercial vehicle, somebody checks to see if there's a business there.
Sometimes a bank will require a certificate too to open a business checking account or savings account too.
Yeah, so, and, you know, this fits the home occupation process here to a T, so, ready to take a vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it, Dee.
Jim O'Brien,
Yes.
Peter Belo,
Yes.
Jim Unger,
Yes.
Michael Murray.
Yes.
Your vote is 4-0-0 and the motion passes. I didn't get to say this to the first gentleman, and I'll catch up with him, but in about 30 days, check with the Department of Building Safety. I will send them a copy of your notice of decision, but check in with them so that they'll produce your certificate for you. Okay?
Okay. And really, best of luck.
Good luck.
Hey, this is our job, you know? Well,
Don't get a heck of a lot of money for this.
Worth everything I pay them, too.
take care. Have a good night. Okay, other than that, we have a draft set of minutes from the November 30 meeting.
Yep, I've read them.
Read them.
Folks read them? Yeah,
I've got all sorts of memories.
all sorts. But a lot of it is about how quickly life goes by and you can't regain it. But nonetheless, are we ready to do, any corrections?
No corrections.
Oh, let's take a vote on this, hon.
Could I have a motion, please?
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I move to accept the meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment meetings for November 30th, 2023.
second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Okay, let's do it. Dee?
Peter Bealow?
Yes.
Jim Unger?
Yes.
Michael Murray?
Yes.
Jim O'Brien?
Yes.
Vote is 400 and the motion passes.
Okay, do we have any other business this evening?
I just want to mention that there are two members that are up for, their terms are up at the end of March, and those members would be Mr. Bealow and Mr. Gifford. So if we don't have a March meeting, the problem is going to be getting renewals prior to the April meeting, if we have one, to make sure that I have 5 members.
Yes. So let's do it tonight.
I did not ask Mr. Gifford the question if he would like to, but we can do it assuming he would like to, and if he doesn't, he doesn't.
I think so. And yeah, let's do it tonight.
So what I'm looking for is a motion to make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen that both Mr. Bealow and Mr. Gifford are reappointed as members for a new 3-year term.
Yeah, I'd like to move that Mr. Bealow and Mr. Gifford be reappointed for another 3-year term.
It has to be recommended to the Board of
It
Selectmen.
has to be recommended to the Board of Selectmen for another 3-year term.
Thank you. Thank you. Ready to vote?
I'm ready.
Jim Unger,
Yes.
Michael Murray,
Yes.
Jim O'Brien,
Yes.
Peter Bealow.
Yeah.
Vote is 400 and the motion passes, and I will type up the memo and head it off to the Board of Selectmen.
Okay, anything else for this evening?
That's all I have.
Okay, then I'm calling this meeting over at 7:19.